Welcome again, Waqas, on my channel. Thanks,
Yep.
thanks for the earlier video as well. What we're going to cover in this video is about UAE's lifestyle, and then the money that you can save generally in UAE. You can be sitting on a lot of cash in your account, and then it's not wise to let that money sit in the account. You just need to think of the ways to invest. At the same time, just try to save more and more and more by being very smart about money, knowing the bank, knowing credit cards, whatever that comes the way. As you are in UAE, so probably I'll hand over to you just to probably think of first the investment side of the money. Where can I invest and what to do with that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in Dubai, right, the hot thing is property, right? Lots of people invest in property. Dubai property is given very good returns since COVID. It's been a very hot property. So yeah, that it's made a lot of money for people. It's made people millionaire. I've seen people who have become millionaire just by buying properties. So that's one of the bigger avenues where people invest money in.
Yeah, I have a question
Uh,
here, Kas.
sure.
So I know property is definitely one of the things that have grown. And when I came to Dubai in December, I could see literally, uh, too many buildings of same develop like in line. Like just
hmm
feels too much now. It feels like there's already a lot of construction done, and I can see still going up and up and up. It doesn't stop. But what does it feel like for you? You have been living there now. Is the boom gonna stop at some time, or do you really think it's gonna continue? I mean, you don't know that. Nobody knows that. It can change anytime. But Dubai has been on growth for last 10 years, at least 10,
hmm
15 years,
hmm
significantly. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, look, it's just a cycle, right? It's an economic cycle that happens in properties, that happens in stocks, that happens everywhere. So you get those booms and then you get those busts, right? Will it bust at some point? 100% sure it will. When will that happen?
Nobody.
Nobody knows, right? So you can maybe invest today and say it drops tomorrow, right? Or you can invest today, it goes up 300% more and then drops 50% and you're still making profit because the drop is still higher than your cost base. So nobody really knows, right? That's just something that every person investing, they have to see their own risk
Yeah.
profile, see how much they're willing to lose, what sort of risk they want to take. So is
Yeah.
that right? So is it, are the prices inflated? They are, absolutely. But is there a lot of influx of people in here such that maybe the demand is still there? That's also true, right?
Yeah.
At some point, maybe the demand stops, or at some point, maybe the supply gets so much that even if there is demand, it's the
Yeah.
supply outgrows the demand. If that happens, obviously you'll see a correction. But will you see the same sort of a thing that happened in 2008?
Yeah.
Probably not, right? I mean, I'm not saying it
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
happen,
yeah,
but I
you
just don't
never
see
know.
it
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I say I came to Dubai, I saw a lot of developers. All these malls have all these offices, the Mark, and then what are the Bugatti or something like. There are a lot of
Emar, yeah,
developers.
yeah.
Imar, everybody's doing a lot of projects in different places in Dubai, outside Dubai, between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. There's a lot going on. Just feel like there's a lot.
hmm
And of
Yeah.
course, there's a demand. That's why people are buying. They're building those places. But it is shit expensive. I know. I inquired about things, and this is too much. This is getting too much.
hmm
Fair enough. And what can be the other avenues then, other than property? I mean, property is a risky bet, right? It can go
Yeah.
boom, and then maybe
hmm
you can't take the risk at all. What do you think is
Yeah, and then obviously properties are like they're not cheap, right? So you need to have a lot of capital to invest into property. One of the other options that a lot of people use here is that if they don't have capital to buy a whole property or like a whole apartment, there are like apps here like Smart Crowd or Pripco where you can buy fractional shares in a property. So let's say there's a whole building and then you put in $2,000 into a building. The developer will build the building. As soon as it's sold, the total profit will be shared based on each person who invested in it in a proportionate basis. So
Mhm.
on that 2000, you can make, I don't know, whatever the property sells for, you'll just get the return for just a proportionate return, right? These
Yeah.
these ones, they have a lot of fees. Obviously, properties are illiquid, so your money can be stuck there. So just do your own due diligence,
Yeah.
everyone. This is not an endorsement of any of these
Yeah.
platforms, but there is an option for those, right?
Yeah, I
And
always
then
feel
you
about
have
these things, right? I mean, these are new things coming out now, especially with the blockchain linked sort of tokenization. Uh,
Mhm.
People need to know first about what they're doing.
Yeah,
You can lose money. You can actually, mess up. You don't know things. I think it's really important if somebody is doing these sort of things, just understand
yeah,
what's going on
absolutely.
before really trying there.
Look, the first goal when you're investing money is to not lose the what you have, right? That's the main goal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
this is probably what people just don't even think about, right? Someone says do this and they will do that with their own money, and then if they lose the money, they lose the money, right? They don't
Uh-huh.
even investigate or they don't even research where the money is going.
Yeah,
I would say the first rule is don't lose your money. And then the second rule is you earn profit on it, right? But you need to know what you're investing into, read the fine print, understand the cost, understand the risks.
yeah.
Um, so that's just a basic of
Yeah, and
investing,
that
right?
goes with the risk profile. I know somebody can have a risk profile of 7, somebody can have a risk profile of 2. How much
Hmm.
aggressive you are with your risk really, and how much money
Yeah,
you have spare to
yeah,
lose.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's a whole different game altogether, to be honest.
Hmm.
Like on investing, because I have been investing myself for a while now, and I could see how things can work out. Uh, these tariffs that happened and then went down the market and just
Hmm.
came up
Hmm.
right above that. Things happen. I just need to
Yeah.
understand where you are. And beyond properties, what do you think is doable?
So again, property is something that I mean, I've not invested in property
Yeah.
myself, right? That's just something that doesn't appeal to me.
Mhm.
Another thing that doesn't appeal to me, but a lot of people do in UAE is the crypto side of thing, right? So
Mhm.
it's not obviously it's not a UAE thing, right?
So,
It's not that only people from UAE do this, but there's a lot of people in UAE who invest in crypto. So you have that avenue, right? Again, you have international platforms that you can use for investing in crypto, like eToro and others, or you have local ones as well, like Serva and other platforms like local. So there's crypto. Then obviously you've got your own equity market, right? So Abu Dhabi has it's got its own stock exchange. Saudi Arabia has got one. Then you have access to U.S. market, the Amsterdam market, all of
mhm.
the European market, the Chinese market, the whole world, right? So
Mhm.
if you have access to like the whole stock market of the world, so you can invest in those, and that's where most of my money goes, right? So
Mhm.
whatever I invest, I put that in the stock market, and I've been doing that since 7, 8 years now, right? So
Mhm.
when I was in the UK, I had my own ISAs and stuff, right, which I was using. Obviously, now that I'm no longer in the UK, I cannot contribute to the ISA.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because there is no capital gains tax in UAE, I'm not really bound on using an ISA. I can just
Yeah.
invest in a general account and not pay tax on it anyway. So it works out from that perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean, stocks is definitely a big game right now, especially right now in last year or so. But it's a very risky bet. It's a very risky bet for somebody who doesn't understand how things work. And it's very easy to lose money. And nowhere in this video we are really saying to invest in any single thing. Do
Yeah.
your own research, understand your own risk profile. It's just as you mentioned, you have been doing this. I have been doing this. We know what we are doing. But sometimes you might just think, oh, this company is really big and it will go. Sometimes with the initial feel when I started, I had discussions is this company is really great, but I buy the products. I love this company. That's why stock will be good. And in
Hmm.
reality, the financials might not be that good enough,
Yeah.
despite the company brand being really good. So that's sort of thing that happens with investing generally. People what have in mind. Again, everybody has to do their own research and understand what the hell is going on here.
Yeah,
But
and I think people in our profession, especially, or at least me, when I started investing, I was like, I've studied this, right? I can do this.
yeah,
But actually, what you've studied and the practicality of it, it's just so different
it's very
that
different. Yeah.
you don't actually you think you understand it, but you don't actually understand it.
Mm.
I've had to spend a lot of time studying, researching, understanding how it all works.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a position where I can say, yeah, I'm comfortable investing in stocks,
Mhm.
right? But I wasn't born this way. Or just because I've done
Exactly.
chartered accountancy doesn't mean that I understand
Exactly.
investing. You do not understand that because that's you don't study this, right?
Exactly.
So it's a totally different ball game. I'd say research, use dummy accounts, put some small amount of money.
Yeah, it's a good point. Dummy
Uh,
accounts
b-
are usually on a lot of
yeah,
platforms, and you can get started and try to make mistakes and lose money before you learn. Uh,
yeah.
uh,
But also, I at least personally, I've noticed that like if I'm losing money in a dummy account, it doesn't really hit me, right? And I don't understand or I don't learn from it. But I'd say start with let's say $1,000. Most probably you lose all of that $1,000, but think of that $1,000 as your fee for learning how to
mhm.
invest, right? Once you've lost that actual $1,000 of your own hard-earned money, you will learn more than losing money in a dummy account.
Yeah, no,
That worked for me at least, right?
no, fair enough. Yeah, I did my first investments back in time. I gained some, I lost some. I came on net zero, then I stopped, and then I started again 2 years ago, uh, with a very fresh perspective. And now I can say literally 50% I am on gains generally
Hmm.
on average in 2 years, which is of course decent, quite decent, in the market. Um, cool. Beyond investing, just thinking of even saving money or any sort of hacks that make you get. I mean, UK, for example, we have all these websites which tell you like quid code top cashback. We see
Hmm.
that, or maybe other websites as well. We just see MSC, for example, that tells you what's going on. Credit cards. What does it feel like in UAE? What's the best bits that you do or should people should do to either save money or just get more benefits out of what you already have?
Yeah, unfortunately, UAE doesn't have a Martin Lewis, right? Martin Lewis does amazing work in the UK.
Yeah,
I've learned a lot from him.
yeah.
We don't have such a platform in the UAE, and with UAE, like the information access is a bit of an issue, right? You don't. There's loads of stuff out there, but not everyone knows about it because not everything's online. Like
Yeah.
in the UK, it's just so much easy to search for things online, and you can find all the information. In the UAE, it can be a little bit difficult to find all the information. Like you don't have a comparison website where you can compare all the bank products, for example, or where you can compare all the credit cards, right? So you have to do it one by one, man, or
Hmm.
at least, and I'm not aware of any. Maybe there are that I'm not
Hmm.
aware of, right? But having said that, there's lots and lots of ways to earn money, to make some money, to save. Like for example, my emergency fund is saved in an account where it earns 6.5%, right?
Hmm.
You wouldn't get 6.5% in the UK, right?
Hmm.
6.5 is a very good return.
Yeah.
So you can get that sort of return in UAE, and also you get lots of credit cards with great offers, right? So in the UK, the credit card offers, in my experience, they weren't that great.
No,
In
no.
the UAE, you get lots of great offers, right? So you spend X amount, you get lots of cash back, or if you create a salary account, you can get a lot of bonus on putting your salary into an account.
Hmm.
So there's lots of avenues like this where you can earn, and obviously you get bonus from one, and then you can switch to another, and then you satisfy their terms, and then switch to another one.
Yeah.
So you can hop around and make money as we do in the UK, right? In the UK, you
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
The good thing in the UK though is that you have that current account switch service where everything gets taken care of. You don't
Yeah.
even need to worry about it. And we don't have anything like that in UAE, right? So you have to close your account manually and then open a different account. So it's a bit of a hassle,
Yeah.
but you do earn money, so it's worth it, I
Yeah.
guess.
UK is easy. I think I would have made at least 2,000 pounds by just switching banks, at least.
Yeah, I've made a
What?
bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. It's still easy money, simple money. And just thinking of the other expense, if I think of expenses in UAE for somebody, his family, for example, the biggest is rent. Of course, it's either cash. Oh, so it's from the bank account generally, and then you think the biggest expense, the second biggest expense is probably traveling around the city and the food generally. Anything you can think of, people can save a bit of money on that
Yeah,
avenue.
I'd say the second most expense would probably be eating out, right? Especially for like myself in the UK because of the halal thing stuff. Our options were limited, right? Obviously,
Hmm.
you can find lots of halal stuff in the UK, but in the UAE, you don't even need to think about that. So I've seen that we eat out a lot, right?
Hmm.
Much more than we used to in the UK. In the UK, but also the prices here are a bit less than
Yeah.
UK for normal stuff. But eating out can be a big chunk of your budget. At
Hmm.
least it is for my budget, right? But if you do eat out a lot, there are apps like Entertainer, for example,
Hmm.
which gives
Is
you buy one
is the
get one free
BOGO?
on
Oh, yeah,
everything.
yeah, BOGO
Yes.
entertainer. Yeah, yeah.
So that's a good one. It's a bit of an investment. I think right now it's 600 dirhams for 1 year.
Hmm.
But if you go out to a nice meal maybe 5 times, you've covered that cost already, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's worth it for people who do a lot of eating out. And then you also get offers from your credit cards, right? So most of the credit cards would have some sort of offers. Um, I'd say what we do, what works for us, and I'd say to others as well that what you should do is look at the restaurant which have the offers and then decide which one of those offers you want to go for rather than first selecting the restaurant and then trying to find the offer.
Hmm.
Because you might not have an offer on a restaurant which you've already selected, you've made up your mind, you go there and then you're not
Yeah.
gonna save anything.
Yeah.
So first look at what the offers are and then from that decide which one you want to go to and then that way you can save a lot of money.
Fair enough. Restaurants can be expensive.
Yeah.
If you're getting some offers, definitely go for that because it can be really. And I mean, BOGO is one of the. I remember. I think in past when I was in Dubai, it was a park, water park. BOGO had the vouchers.
Mhm.
Buy one, something get one. You will go on one. Uh, I mean, that saves money. That saves money, a
Yeah,
lot of
it does.
money.
It does.
And thinking beyond that, then generally, I think, and you can correct me wrong, UAE has a lot of options, really, going from 500 dirhams pants to 50 or 20 dirhams pants as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you choose what you want, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have all the options, and it's not like options are bad. Like
Hmm.
Max Fashion, I guess, and these places, Splash. I think there are a few places who
Yeah.
are cheaper and not bad. Uh,
Yeah, Max is like, I think Max is a bit like Primark. But by the way, we now also have Primark in Dubai
okay,
for
that's
those of for
yeah.
those people who know Primark and are interested in it.
Yeah, I saw that. What was the mall I was there, and it was just the poster. Primark is opening. I didn't
Yeah.
feel a bit. No, oh, my Primark is here now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anything else you think of beyond what we discuss on money wise? And I mean, the purpose really is to tell people it is there. You just don't know it right now.
Yeah. I think you just have to you have to be conscious about where you're spending, right? As long as you are and you look for things. So if you want to buy something, there are always cheaper options, right? But you just have to spend a bit more time on it.
Hmm.
So, for example, think about which card is better to use, which one would give you more cash back, or think about are there any coupons available on websites which you can use, or maybe create a new account and see if they'll give you a welcome bonus. Like if you already have an account, create an account on your wife's name or your child's name, or there's things you can do which will
Yeah,
help you save money. Obviously, you just have to make a conscious effort towards that. Not everyone's lifestyle is like that. All right, some people are like, I can't be bothered to do this.
yeah, exactly.
I'm happy to spend $100 more. And if you're that person, then sure, that works for you. Good. But if you want to save, there's always opportunities and always ways to save.
No, definitely, yes. Yeah, everybody's different. But a lot of people are conscious, of course. People do go abroad in different countries to save money generally, especially
Hmm.
from countries like ours, to just save money and make sure we have more and more and more with us than giving out. And that's I think that's really helpful to understand. And there are, of course, techniques everywhere. It's just UK has a lot open and just Google it, Gemini it. I mean, even the UAE now you can Gemini, you will understand at least some things like
Hmm.
these AI apps. Because literally every day I do use these apps, and because I used to research a lot myself, now part of the research these AI apps do for me, chatbots,
Hmm.
and then I go from there. I think
Yeah.
that can
By
be
the
another
way,
way.
in UK, I don't know if you know about this one. There is a website called Complete Savings.
Yeah, I know that I
Um,
use that
you
massively.
know that one, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I've used Complete Savings for like 5 years, and you wouldn't even imagine how much I've saved. That's like the best website in
yeah.
the UK to save money. That's amazing, and not a lot of people know about this. Yeah,
No, no, it's a secret right now. Well, not after this video if this goes viral, but this
yeah,
is a secret. Not a lot of
yeah.
people know about that.
You've
All
been
right,
gatekeeping
yeah.
that one, yeah.
All right, no, I think that's really, really helpful, Kas, and thank you for joining today.
Yeah, thank you.